How are you getting on, folks? Glad to see Glorious Galway is going to be back again. The 2 day festival, I'm going to sort of do the 2 days as well as Punchestown tomorrow, so expect a bit of an add on episode now for tomorrow. But we'll focus, or not tomorrow, Tuesday. But we're going to focus on tomorrow anyway, and yeah, it looks to be a bit of a mixed bag card tomorrow. There's a few nice races, couple of sharp price horses in here, but like I said, I'm trying to, I suppose, get you as many winners as possible rather than focus on big price alerts more so than anything else. But we may as well kick things off. 405, first sharp price horse of the day. We're going to go with January Jets. Obviously I tipped him up for, I think it was Clonmel earlier on in the week, but he was pulled out. Like the Clonmel tips, January Jets, it looks to be a fairly nice, I suppose, shoe in for a maiden hurdle. The form stands up at the end of the day. When you look at it, the form that it's come up against, it's placed against some very nice horses. 1 to 2, look at it, it's a bit short for a horse that I suppose hasn't really proven its worth more so than anything else. But saying that, it looks to be the classiest horse of the race. It definitely looks like it's going to be a very easy opportunity for this horse, and yeah, I think January Jets is going to get us off to a fairly nice start now tomorrow. Moving on then, 440. We're going to go with our first each way selection of the day. We're going to go with Bridge Native, currently trading around 6 to 1. Look at this horse is in the form of his life. If I'm not mistaken, I think I napped him up for Downpatrick the last time it ran, and it won fairly comfortably in the end. If it keeps progressing at the end of the day, look at it could well go on to do a nice little double for Dot Love and her team, but really and truly, it's at an each way price. You're better off staying safe. It's a fairly nice enough looking race. There's an awful lot of these that cases can be made for. But I'm going to stick with, I suppose, current form and I suppose form that's been backed up. Bridge Native has everything going for it at the end of the day. I can't remember what sort of penalty it's running under now, but it looks like with gradual improvement, it will shake off that penalty that it is under. Really and truly, 6 to 1. It looks a massive price for this one. I really think it's gonna do the business, but like I said, you're better off being safe than sorry. And at an each way price, 6 to 1, you really can't go wrong with this one. Now 540, we're going to go with the next best of the day. Or no, 510, I should say, not 540. But the next best of the day, we're going to go with the Storyteller, currently trading around 4 to 7. Again, another short price, but really and truly, this horse is a class act. It won fairly well over hurdles in Clonmel in September, if I'm not mistaken. I was actually there that day myself. I was sickened to be on Mary Frances, and seeing the Storyteller close all the way to the line and just nab Mary Frances with about 50 yards to go. But yeah, look at the Storyteller, it loves it around Galway. All you have to do is look at the race it ran in the Galway Festival. Keith Donoghue is a man that gets on with the Storyteller very, very well. I honestly think that this horse is going to really, I suppose, shine again here now tomorrow. My sister Sarah, if I'm not mistaken, is coming up against it. It's in the same colours as my sister Sarah. I can't remember if it is my sister Sarah or not now, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's a fairly nice horse that's coming up against, but really and truly at the end of the day, the Storyteller should have plenty more class than this, I suppose, second favourite that is coming up against. And yeah, I think that it's going to do the business again now tomorrow. Now, 540, we're going to go with another each way selection here now. We're going to go with an 8 to 1 shot. Lily Gal, like I said, an each way value, each way price. Um, I suppose on its best form, you would have to consider this one as a very, very big threat. It's slowly started to progress and run better races without alerting the handicapper too much. It's been fitted with cheek pieces now today, so that'll, I suppose, lighten it up a little bit rather than, I suppose, lighten it up without, I suppose, any way to, I suppose, shut it off at the end of the day. Those cheek pieces are just going to keep the horse focused and keep the head, I suppose, forward instead of hanging it right or hanging it left. Um, but yeah, look at Lily Gal, Sean Flanagan again. He's a man on form. He was anyway until he picked up the injury. But he's back again. He's been back in the winners' enclosure since, and yeah, I think this one could be well worth a shot. Really and truly, you can't, I suppose, look past the favourite. The favourite is coming in here after winning in Ballinrobe there today with a fair bit of boot behind it at the same time. But look, at Galway is a very, very tricky track to go. I suppose 2 races from 2 days. I can honestly see it being pulled out. If that's the case, all the other, I suppose, horses' prices are going to shorten naturally enough. And I suppose, look at if you're willing, I suppose, to take it with the rule four, um, yeah, 8 to 1 is definitely well worth a shot. Um, each way, I suppose, yeah, it looks definitely set to place one of these days coming up very, very soon. I don't know when it'll be, whether it'll be tomorrow or the next day, or whether it'll actually place at all. But yeah, it looks to be on a fairly attractive mark, and Sean Flanagan is definitely a noteworthy booking. 8 to 1 is definitely well worth a shout. Now 6-10, we're going to go with Aramax, currently trading around 6-4. This horse needs no real explanation. It was the star of the Fred Winter. Um, it I suppose was a little bit out of his depth in the Galway hurdle, to be quite honest with you. It was moving from handicap territory into Grade 1 company, and yeah, I suppose it's going back into, I suppose, calmer waters here in this one. Um, Obviously it's getting a weight allowance for its age. Is riding off 11 stone 4 rather than 12 stone, if I'm not mistaken, for the, I suppose, the older horses. But look, it's definitely got a nice profile, and it definitely has, I suppose, everything going for it at the present moment. Um, the second favorite, yeah, it looks to be a fairly nice one, especially with it in the JP McManus #1 colours and with Mark Walsh on board. I suppose everyone is going to be focused on that, but quality over quantity at the end of the day. Aramax is the only one, if I'm not mistaken, to have won in Cheltenham, and definitely the only one, I think, in this whole meeting to have actually won in Cheltenham. So it's definitely bringing a sense of class to the equation, and yeah, 6-4 definitely looks to be a massive, massive price. Now we're going to go on onto the 640. We're going to go, or we're going to still stick with the McManus colours here. We're going to go with Winox, currently training at around 3-1. It's a 12 race maiden. Hasn't won in 12 races, but it has showed some serious, serious ability. Its last run was in Wexford, if I'm correct in saying, and that showed some very, very good potential that day. Philip Rothwell, he's a man starting to get back in form now again. He was a bit quiet there, I suppose, since lockdown has lifted, and the winners were few and far between for the Rothwell stable. But yeah, it really and truly looks like the Rothwell stable are starting to come back in form now again. Um, it's interesting to see, I suppose, JP going putting horses into, like, I suppose, the smaller stables with like Rothwell, and um there's plenty more, I suppose, you could say as well. But look, it definitely has a race in it to win it. Mark Walsh obviously on board, being for JP McManus. It really looks, I suppose, a very nice opportunity here. It's a tricky enough race, but look at Winox 3-1. I suppose you could be picking worse horses at bigger prices. That's the way I'm sort of saying. 7-10, nap of the day. Crazy Work, the Vassie, currently trading around 13-8. The man in form, Darrell O'Keefe, we're expecting him to strike again there today. If I'm not mistaken, I napped Crazy Work, the Vassie in Killarney today at won by 20 lengths. Either that or I definitely had him tipped up. But look at, it's going up £10 in the handicap. That's obviously a disadvantage. But when you look at the last run in Killarney, it won by 20 lengths. So really and truly, you're looking, I suppose, in or around a £10, I suppose, well in scenario. It looked like it was going to win in Kilbeggan the day we tipped it up at 33-1 before falling either at the last or the second last. I can't be too sure on it. But yeah, this horse looks to have some serious potential behind it. I really think that, look at, this horse should really go from the front, and I can honestly say that it shouldn't see a rival, to be quite honest with Ollie. It should really, I suppose, go around a fairly well, or I suppose fairly good nick at the end of the day, and yeah, it should be very hard to peg this one back. 13-8, look at it, it's a fairly short price, but yeah, look at it. I suppose, look at, if you're looking at it this way, if you have a tenner on, at least you're going to be doubling your money, as well as adding on a little bit to it as well. So that's always a good sign. And yeah, look at, it's my most confident pick of the day. And yeah, I have no problem napping it at 13-8. 7-40, last race of the day, we're going to go at Break Even. Currently trading around 7-4. The Tom Mullins Yard has been very, very successful, especially around Galway. This Break Even won 2 Pint-to-Pints at the start of the year, and it went on to back it up, winning a successful bumper. The second horse, Mason City, if I'm not mistaken, went on to win in Wexford, if I have it right. I can't honestly remember where it won, but it won anyway the last time it ran. So that's always a massive positive. Obviously, when you're looking at Galway, the Meath colours always seem to strike people's eye. This Dad's Lad, yeah, I suppose it has everything going for it. Coming from the Willie Mullins Yard, Patrick Mullins on board, and running in the Meath colours. It definitely, I suppose, ticks an awful lot of boxes, but for me, it just has more question marks over its head than, I suppose, positives. This Break Even has won 3 from 3 between Pint-to-Pints and the last bumper run, and I honestly can say I can really see it going on to win 4 from 4. But look, that's it for tomorrow's racing in Galway. I hope you all enjoyed. Obviously, keep liking, sharing, subscribing. For those that haven't already done so, you might just visit www.theworldofsport.co.uk. I'm a, I suppose, freelance writer for the World of Sport, covering Irish racing. It's free to subscribe, and it's very, very easy to do so. If you want to look into, I suppose, a more in-depth view of the card, yeah, I really suggest you all to do it. I leave a link down in the description below, but yeah, it's just, I suppose, another, I suppose, view on it. If you're more into reading rather than watching and listening to me rabbit on for 15 odd minutes, it'd be a much better outlet for you to go. But look, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, keep liking, sharing, subscribing. And yeah, hopefully, if you're going to have a bet tomorrow, the very best of luck. Thanks very much.